Stewardship often is about abundance, God's abundance, in our world, in our communities, in our own households, and in our congregations. Where scarcity exists, it is not because God has failed to provide. It is because we have failed to adequately share with one another. From our readings by Weems and Michael, we understand that, quote, stewardship is about how we care for the things that God has entrusted to us in ways that serve God's purpose, unquote. We also hear that time is often a commodity that is used to fill in gaps when resources may be difficult to come by. We tend to think of time as an afterthought, a consolation prize for a congregation's stewardship program. Stewardship is year-round, and time spent in stewardship is as critical as water is to making bread. God gives us time in abundance, and we have but to share it willingly. I cannot help but be reminded of Ecclesiastes in time. As good stewards of abundance, we know there is a time for every matter under heaven to consider prayerfully. A time to plant and to garden and to harvest in your congregation's outside spaces. A time to heal, to offer a non-anxious presence or a gentle smile as a teacher of faith formation. A time to break down the congregation's recyclables, and a time to build up, to repair small projects around your building. A time to throw away stones and refuse and litter inside and outside your congregational environs. And a time to gather stones together to perhaps build a congregational garden that would help feed the neighborhood, or an oven to bake bread for your community. A time to embrace, to visit the homebound, to share God's grace and communion to those who simply could not be present. Time for a congregation can be like water in making bread. Without water, the bread simply cannot be made. Without your gift of time, your family of faith simply cannot thrive. Again, in Ecclesiastes, we trust that it is God's gift that all should eat and drink and take pleasure in all their toil. And that is the gift of time we can all give.